What's up everybody, how we looking? Coach Max here, back with some more Fire Emblem 3 houses. Last time, we met the students of the Garrick Monastery Officers Academy and made our first big decision in the game, taking leadership of the Blue Lion House. That decision is going to be put to the test in 3 days game time, where we take on the other houses in a mock battle. But right now, we have more important things to do, and that is explore the monastery, so let's go ahead and do just that. So, this is my room. I thought I heard a girl's voice, but I must have been imagining things. That girl's voice obviously being Sothis, but, well, our protagonist does not necessarily know that. So, in exploring the monastery, we can meet the students, do quests, pretty much exactly what we did last video for the most part. After a lot of thought and one attempted recording that didn't exactly go well, what I've decided to do is just focus on the quests in showing off the exploration, so that way the rest of the videos here don't actually lead to about, an hour long. We do see a bulletin board here of all the various things we can do right now as we explore the monastery. If there's any special events going, they'll usually be here in the weekly announcements. But either way, we're just going to show off the quests and what we need to do during the course of exploration, and anything else that comes from that, well, we'll probably put the highlights up later, maybe. But since Sedith is right here, let's go ahead and talk to him.
These are the students' quarters. To better help you supervise them, you also have a room here. Your room is here at the end. Commoner students also reside on the first floor, while the second is primarily for students of noble birth. As a rule, we try to avoid discrimination based on social status here, but the nobility can be quite insistent when it comes to matters of propriety. Speaking of, it would be best for you to avoid improper conduct. I expect you to set a good example for the students.
Okay, so the first half of that, I definitely agree with. As a professor, part of my job is to actually keep an eye on the students as well as build relationships with them, at least as far as, student-teacher goes. So putting me in the same general area as the students, perfect, that's exactly the way I would have wanted it. Having the nobles separated from the commoners, though, I kind of question that decision a little bit. We are teaching these people to become officers and to fight for lord and country, and it doesn't exactly work if there is a specific division between nobles and commoners. That just kind of highlights the differences between the two, rather than striving for the unity that we need on the battlefield. But then again, this is me with 21st century thinking as opposed to the medieval setting that the Fire Emblem games are placed, so I could just be reading a little too much into it. Anyway, we also have another possibly important conversation from someone we haven't seen before, so let's do that as well.
I'm not too keen on the professor of my class. I really hope to focus more on strategy. Maybe I should talk to my professor about transferring to a different class.
So what that was a hint for is your ability to potentially recruit students from other houses into your class. No, we're not just going to be running with the same 9 people in our lineup all throughout the game, although that would be kind of an interesting mechanic. Part of the fun of Fire Emblem is actually recruiting other characters, and this is your way to do that. Unlike other games where it's usually like fulfilling some sort of event condition or what have you, basically as you get stronger, you will probably have more of an impression on the students of other houses. Everybody has a certain trait that they look for, a certain skill that they look for, and of course if you build bonds with them, they'll be more willing to join your class as far as that goes. So we are going to be trying to recruit some of the students from the other houses. We can't get everybody. Obviously we can't get Edelgard or Dimitri, and I don't think we can get either Hubert or Lorenz, who are their closest retainers. Or Edelgard and Claude, I mean. We have Dimitri, obviously. This is what happens when I try to record first thing in the morning. I mess things up. So, we have Dimitri and Dedu here. The red icon above Dimitri means that's kind of an important quest, so let's go ahead and talk to him first.
I hear there will be a mock battle soon. We must not neglect our training. I trust that you will carefully study the strengths and weaknesses of each of your students, that you may provide effective guidance.
I have not only done that, I've kind of studied the strengths and weaknesses of the other students. That was pretty much covered in the last video with my little bit of scouting report.
Regardless of the results, this battle will be a great learning experience. Even so, what is the point of competition if the aim isn't to win?
So this brings to mind a very interesting thing, one of the most common sayings, especially for younger people, is it's not whether you win or lose, it's how you play the game. And I do believe in that for the most part, but I also believe that if you're, competing in something, you should try to win. I mean, it's not like you're just going in there just to, mess around. If you're trying to win, if you're aiming for a goal, and that goal being to win, then you're obviously going to do better and work towards that goal. The whole point of that saying is, not to make it all about whether you win or lose, and if you don't win, then everything was pointless. That's not pointless. Like when I go and play basketball, the whole point is not just to try, win the game, it's to have fun doing it, but, winning is more fun, and part of the reason I practice basketball is so I can eventually win at basketball. You know what I mean? Anyway.
As this is your first time at the monastery, please allow me to show you the ropes.
Sure. So we have some tutorials, let's go ahead and go through these real quick.
Both students and teachers of the Officers' Academy are free to use the facilities within the monastery. For example, you can dine with others at the dining hall, or partake in one-on-one combat at the training grounds. I encourage you to wander around the monastery and lend an ear to the people living here.
Fair enough. A lot of those things that we'll be doing, we will be showing off at later points, because I believe that is what a lot of these introductory quests are going to be revolving around, unlocking new mechanics.
There are bulletin boards in various places around the monastery. Have you seen them, Professor?
I have.
There you can find requests from various sources, as well as information about the market.
The market we have not unlocked just yet.
If you fulfill these requests, you should eventually be able to use even more of the facilities here. The bulletin board gets updated frequently. You would do well to check it once a month.
Cool. Alright, activity points, a very critical mechanic for us.
This probably goes without saying, but no matter which facility you use, it will take up a considerable amount of your time. It's helpful to plan out activities in advance, so that you don't mistakenly squander your time here.
You can explore the monastery as much as you like, but certain activities will only be available while you have activity points. When you are done exploring, press the L button to end your free time and proceed to the next week. So we can't just do everything every single time, especially things that will give us professor level experience, which will probably be covered in this topic. Those will take up a little bit of time, and obviously things are going to be a little bit limited.
Professors at the Officers' Academy are expected to have exceptional leadership skills. Students and teachers alike must devote themselves to their studies and strive to acquire great wisdom, even outside their respective fields.
Your professor level determines your maximum activity points. Raise it by reading books, taking part in activities, and interacting with students. And that's going to be also pretty critical for us. The higher our professor level, the more things that we'll be able to do in pretty much anything. We'll be able to spend more time with the students, we'll be able to train more, we'll be able to do more. It's a very critical mechanic, and I will probably be looking for ways to try and... what's the word I'm looking for here? To kind of try and, take advantage of any sort of loopholes that are going to get us more experience fast. I'm sure if you look around online, there are plenty of guides on that. Believe me, I'll actually be checking most of those, because professor level, probably even more than our skill levels in battle, are going to be critical to the development of our team. Alright, so that takes care of talking with Dimitri. Let's talk with Dedu.
His Highness has said that he trusts you, and I have no cause for doubt. But if you mistreat him in any way, I will take action.
And I will definitely not mistreat him when there is somebody who could probably dunk me like a basketball on his team. But I'll be more than happy to do things for you.
I have a
request. Alright, so Dedu would like us to grow some plants in the greenhouse, and I will be more than happy to do that. As you can see, we will get all kinds of seeds and some tomatoes as a reward for doing this. So this will be coming into play a little bit later. Alright, so we need to head south, I believe. Let's talk to Claude and Hilda real quick.
Hey, Teach. I hear there's gonna be a mock battle between the houses. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a bit concerned about facing an elite mercenary like you. Maybe take it easy on us. What do you say?
Not a chance, buddy.
Oh, Professor! Have you adjusted to life at the Academy yet? Me? I'm still not used to it. I'm not one for all this studying and training.
Well, Claude did say she was lazy.
Hey there.
Alright, nice little cutscene to see that we have entered the dormitory. Well, we were actually already there to begin with, but I guess when we cross a certain spot, the cutscene triggers. Was that Ferdinand right behind us? Nope, it was just a nobody. Well, I say nobody, but yeah. Hi, Leone.
I'm Captain Gerald's first and best apprentice. I can beat anyone, Professor. Even you if I have to. It may have been only for a short time, but I learned from the absolute best.
Okay. Hello, Bernadetta.
I was just heading by.
Okay.
I don't like to come out unless I really have to. Hope you're okay with that, Professor.
I understand. It's... yeah. Ooh, hello, Sylvain.
Professor.
We have another quest we can do here.
Hey,
Come on.
Professor. If you got spare time, wanna join me for a trip into town? We could try to pick up beautiful girls. Or not. I'm kidding. Don't look at me like that.
I am pretty sure you're not kidding. You can't really see this, but I'm giving you a, little side-eye glare. Anyway.
Professor, I've got a small favor to ask.
Well, Sylvain wants us to share a bite with some other students. Obviously, he would prefer women, but whatever. We'll show this off later as well. Okay, let's keep going towards the south. There's Linhart, and there's the greenhouse. There's our first destination. Oh, the fishing pond is also here, too. I do love those nice little panoramic views when we do things here. Let's talk to Linhart.
The Great Tree Moon is the best time of the year for naps. I could just forget all about my assignment.
Okay, now, as a professor, I should probably be telling him that it's not a good idea to, forget about your assignment and take a nap. But that's obviously not what he wants to hear. So, and to be fair, if there was a good spring breeze happening, I'd probably be feeling sleepy too, if we're being completely honest here. So, yeah, we won't go with the, proper, respectful authority figure choice. We're gonna go with what makes him happy. And that's why, any case that we have for building up support, we want to take that. Speaking of building up support, we have someone I don't think we met last time.
I'm a little busy.
Okay, general rule of Fire Emblem. If you have a choice that will say you want to talk to somebody versus apologizing for interrupting them, choose the choice that says you want to talk to them. Usually that's going to be the one that's going to make them like you a little bit better.
I really can't right now. I got a lot of things to do. Work and stuff like that. Why don't you look at the flowers in the greenhouse instead? They're pretty.
As evidenced right there. Now, can we actually go up these stairs? No, we can't. I'm sure that's probably access to something later, but obviously not right now. Interesting design. Ooh, hey, there's someone from our house.
Oh, did you come to look at the plants too? The greenhouse here is really incredible. There are so many rare flowers I'd never seen back home, and herbs I never even knew existed.
Okay, well, to be honest, I personally have never had much interest in plants, but I know exactly how useful they can be, and he does seem well informed on the subject, so...
My adoptive father is the real expert. He taught me everything I know about herbs, including how to tell them apart and how to make medicines. You should try looking around the greenhouse sometime if the mood strikes you. Maybe something will catch your eye.
Maybe? Speaking of which, we would definitely like to do some gardening. Alright, gardening. By gardening, you can harvest all kinds of crops. Flowers, for instance, make great gifts. Some people might even decorate their rooms with the flowers you give them. Use the plant command to decide which seeds to use. More seeds mean a bigger harvest, while more compatible seeds will lead to higher quality. Use the cultivate command to pay the greenhouse keeper to look after your crop. The more you spend, the better your harvest will be. Your crop will be ready 1 week after you plant your seeds. Use the harvest command to gather what you've grown. Simple enough, right? So let's plant some Dew seeds. Yes, we would. Alright, we've offered the seeds to the greenhouse keeper. Check back when you next explore the monastery on a free day. So basically next week, or whatever the next week we have free time is. Let's also cultivate these. There's certain options. As you can see, higher professor level will give us more, I wouldn't say more better options, but well, we'll see how these go when we actually get to them. For now, let's just go ahead and infuse it with magic.
My thanks.
And that is enough to complete the quest. So we've got some seeds, we get some seeds, we get some tomatoes, we get some renown. Signed, sealed, and delivered. Okay. We're going to take a quick look around the greenhouse because, if memory serves, there is... Ah! If you see these little blue sparkles around the area, they are usually things that you can get. In this case, we get some white flower seeds. Bright white flowers will grow from these seeds. Nice. I like bright flowers. Let's see, is there anything else in the immediate area? Does not look like it. Cool. Alright, so we've taken care of that. Next up, we need to go to the dining hall. Which I believe will be right in this direction. Here we go. I gotta say, this is a cool dining hall. Alright. So we spotted Petra. Let's go ahead and talk to her.
Here at the monastery, I have had many great learnings from many great people. I am hopeful to have learnings from you, too. As forever, I will do my best trying.
And if you ever want to sign up with the Blue Lion House, you are more than welcome to. Petra is one of the students that I would like to recruit. That wonderful skill that gives her plus 20 crit when an enemy is on half health is very useful. She could be a good finisher with that skill. Okay, and oh hell, Felix.
I'm busy. Do you want something?
This is again, nothing in particular. Not an optimal choice. I was hoping to spar with you. Probably good choice. When the choice is between nothing and something, choose the something more often than not.
I can't right now, but let's fight soon. I look forward to beating you.
I don't think he would actually beat us, but out of everybody in the Blue Lions, he, other than Dimitri, probably has the best chances of actually doing it. And that's not a slight on anybody. Let's talk to Raphael real quick while we're here.
I really need to eat. I can't hold out until the next meal.
Word.
Why can't the dining hall stay open all the time? I need to keep eating if I want to get stronger.
Word. Okay, so the dining staff here. Alright, so we have two ways we can do this. There is either today's special, which is just whatever they're doing for refs, or the full menu, which we can take some of the stuff that we have and actually make things. Now, we don't really have anything that we can do this with, so let's just go ahead and go with today's special. Almost always it's going to be something we can use. Now, one difference that you will notice, Mercedes and Annette here have faces next to them. That is their motivation, which you'll only see if the student is in your house. Dining together with your students will raise their motivation, so if at all possible, you'll want to dine with students of your own house to raise their motivation. That's going to come into play for training later on. All these blue arrows mean they like this dish, and the red arrows mean they don't like the dish. So, since the choice is pretty obvious, let's go ahead and go with Mercedes and Annette. Would I like to share a meal with Mercedes and Annette? Yes, I would.
Today's dish was so good. Oh, but not as good as your homemade sweets, Mercy.
You're too kind. Maybe I'll bake some for you next time, Professor.
That would be superb. I do love handmade sweets. Maximum motivation is a very, very good thing. And we get our first professor level up with that action, so we are now an E+ professor. We have more activity points for exploration, so the next time we explore, we can do a little bit more. And we also get paid more, which is yet another good reason to raise your professor level as much as you can. Alright, just like before, you'll usually want to finish exploring when our activity points run out. We can press the L button to do just that.
Nice! I knew I could count on you.
Alright, that takes care of that quest. Okay. But we still have one more. And that one more is with Lane.
Hello there, Professor. Well, I call you that, but I am afraid I am not a student here myself.
That is a legitimate shame. I think she'd be, a bright spot in anybody's class.
Should the opportunity arise, I would love to become a student and begin my studies in earnest. The monastery is kind enough to provide a sanctuary for my brother and I. He's the only family I have.
Alright, and...
Might you help me with a favor?
Oh, a ceremony related to St. Kathleen. We need to go catch a fish. Sure! Thankfully, the fishing pond is right out here. But let's go ahead and talk to Marianne real quick.
Goddess, I pray to thee. Please protect us.
Nice spot for a prayer, I guess. Okay. Would I like to fish in the pond? Yes, I would. Alright, fishing. To begin fishing, first select your bait. Wait until you see the silhouette of the fish you want to catch, and then press the A button to hook it. Don't wait too long, though, or the fish will escape with the bait. Press the A button when the circles overlap to reduce the stamina of the hooked fish. Once its stamina is depleted, you will have successfully caught the fish. If your line breaks, the fish will escape. Durability of the fishing line increases with professor level. Repeated excellent timing will create combos that reduce the fish's stamina quickly. If you land excellent timing at all opportunities, you will net a more valuable fish than usual. Seems simple enough. Basically, it's a rhythm game. I'm okay at these, so let's see if we can be okay at this. Alright. Two for two. Carassius, or Carasius? I don't even know how this is pronounced. Somehow connected to St. Kathleen, so... And we get a little bit of professor level for that. So, that is one useful thing about the greenhouse and fishing. You gain professor experience, but it doesn't actually take activity points, so... I would say do those as often as you can, or as often as you're able. Granted, your fishing is limited by your amount of bait. But... that is neither here nor there. We can worry about that another time. For now, let's go give Flame that fish.
You have helped me so much.
Alright, that pretty much covers all the quests. I think we still have a few locations that we can actually take a look at that may have been that we may have unlocked by something, so let us just go ahead and take a quick trip around the monastery real quick here. I said real quick here twice. And see if there is anything else. Obviously, one of the things we're also going to do whenever we explore, well, I say we, but I'm going to be doing that off screen, is just kind of going around the monastery looking for any missing items, things like that. I will talk to you guys a little bit later. Let's see, this goes up here. Is there anything actually in here?
That's,
Doesn't look like it. Maybe that unlocks later. I don't know. So, as I was saying, one thing that I'll be doing every time I explore is just looking around, talking to people, looking for lost items, things like that. So I will show that more or less off screen.
Professor!
And this is back to the second floor. The library is also open to us right now, I believe.
Here's an idea.
Okay, here's the entrance hall.
Alright.
And we can't go past here just yet. So we may have actually explored everything that we can, I think. Let's see, we got the fishing pond. We can't go up north there. So yeah, I think that actually covers everything. No, that definitely covers everything. Okay, so That being said, since we've done everything that we need to do on screen, I'm going to go off screen a little bit and talk to people, build supports, anything else. If there are any highlights, I will show you what those are. If not, I will see you back when we finish exploring.
Greetings, Professor. Nothing to report.
Alright, so I think we are done here. Wasn't really much to show off, so I didn't show much of anything off. So let us go ahead and finish exploring. Oh, apparently the mock battle is happening on Ferdinand's birthday. So we have an opportunity to get a little bit of support points just by spending some gold to get him some flowers for his birthday. Now, on the one hand, he's not of my house, so I don't necessarily have to do this, but, you know, I'm nice, so let's go ahead and do it.
Much appreciated.
Alright, and we will be undertaking our mission, which is the Rivalry of the Houses. So, let's go ahead and see what happens when we hit the A button. Obviously, battles also have their own activity points, but moot point right now because we only have one. Alright, let us go ahead and save the game. There's a tutorial that we don't need to read. Rivalry of the Houses. White Clouds. Chapter 1. 3 Houses.
Ah, it's finally time for the mock battle. I'm eager to put my skills to use. And you, Professor?
I'm looking forward to it.
Excellent. I have high expectations for your command. That said, I've no doubt it will take everything we've got to pull a victory.
Very true. We are up against very evenly matched opponents in the form of Edelgard, Claude, and their students.
Our opponents are mighty. That much is certain. But I'm positive we can win.
Hey there. Did we miss our invite to this strategy meeting? Oh, no worries. We'll just join in now.
Nice try, Claude. But I do not intend to let slip our strategies. Especially when we are up against such strong opponents as you two.
Well now, kind words from His Kingliness. If that's the case, we'd better come up with some clever schemes so as not to disappoint. Right, Princess?
Right. No matter the tactics you devise, we will destroy you. The best you can hope for is to learn a thing or two.
I'm not so sure you should be that confident of your chances, Edelgard. No offense.
There's nothing wrong with a friendly rivalry, but let's not get carried away. A rash attitude could be your undoing, after all.
This is very true. If you get too far in, and suddenly you find yourself surrounded, well, not much you can do at that point.
Perhaps your time would be better spent preparing instead of worrying about the competition's mindset.
Oh, I assure you, Edelgard, we are prepared.
Hey now, if you two were getting this fired up before the battle even starts, it'll make it that much easier for my class to sweep up a win. So please, carry on.
And Claude will continue to be Claude. Wouldn't have him any other way, honestly.
A good point, Claude. I apologize, that wasn't my intention. At any rate, let's vow to make this a productive battle, shall we?
And of course, the best way to make this a productive battle is for us to win.
Oh? In that case, I won't hold back.
Oh, how precious. Looks like you and the students have become fast friends.
While I am pleased that you are taking the initiative to acquaint yourself with the students, I'm afraid it's about time for the faculty strategy meeting.
Ah, how time flies. In that case, I'll see you later.
I look forward to assessing your abilities. I hope you don't disappoint.
Can we go to the strategy meeting? Apparently not. Anyway, quick thing about bonus damage. Some combat arts gain bonus damage against certain types of enemies. In these cases, the damage will be double the weapon's might. So these are the things such as shooting down flyers, effective against armor, things like that. Oop, tutorials. Magic can provide new means of attack and defense to a unit that has the skill and is of an appropriate class. So our base classes, Commoner and Noble, can use magic, so if we have magic users within our ranks, we can definitely do this. You must equip attack magic in place of a weapon, but you can use assist magic regardless of your other equipment. All magic has limited uses, but these will replenish at the end of a battle. So this is one change from normal Fire Emblem games. Previously, magic would be as tomes, same as weapons, so you'd only have limited uses, and then once the tome breaks, it's, done. But in this case, you get limited uses, which, if I remember correctly, are considerably more limited and are slightly dependent on your level and rank in a certain magic discipline. And then you just, get to use them regardless, and you get your uses back at the end of a battle. So, kind of nifty. That's a change I'm kind of looking forward to seeing how it plays out, how it's generally regarded by the community, as it were. The magic your units gain access to is determined by their skills. Study Reason to learn black or dark magic, develop Faith to learn white magic. Simple enough. Alright, battle preparations. Choose the Units option to determine whom to send to battle. Press the A button to toggle a unit. Units highlighted in green cannot be excluded, so anyone in green, we have to deploy them. Choose the Inventory option to sort items, equip abilities or combat arts, assign battalions, or change your units' classes. Choose the Map option to see the area and the placement of your units. Once your preparations are complete, select Fight to begin battle. Again, seems simple enough. Alright, so we are on the cusp of our first battle here. Let's go ahead and take a quick look at the map before we end things here. So this is our spot right here in what I believe is... can we zoom out? Okay, so this is our spot right here in the lower right-hand spot. And we have the other houses kind of stationed. Looks like a few of them are deployed forward, but the main balance of the house is over here in the back. So, right up front, we have Lorenz from the Golden Deer. He's got a lance, so he's more than likely going to be closing in. But we also have Ignatz from the Golden Deer backing him up with a training bow. And we have Dorothea from the Black Eagles apparently taking point with Thunder Magic. So if we have any low resistance units, we're better take care to steer them clear of Dorothea, or at least until we can actually get in there and neutralize her. Over here on the other side, we have Claude and Hilda with an axe. I don't know why she's hanging back, probably just to actually play defense, I'm not sure. And looks like Hanneman is their house leader. He is also packing wind magic. At least I think that is wind magic. Let's see. Oh, magic arrows with a high hit. So it's not wind magic, but it is magic. We probably do not want to tangle much with that. Over here on the Black Eagle side, we have Edelgard right up front, not necessarily front and center. Hubert with dark magic, so another thing to watch out for. And Ferdinand will most likely be closing in with a lance or sitting back and playing defense, we don't know. So the most immediate threat is obviously going to be these three people right here. That kind of covers it for the map. Now, as far as our units go, we can only take 5 members of our houses. Byleth and Dimitri are auto-deployed, so we have to choose 3 from the remaining 7 people. Now, I do have an idea of what lineup I want to run, but in the comment section, let me know if there's any particular lineup that you want to see. I am going to try and record this battle within the next couple of days, but if you have a lineup that you really want to see and gets a lot of support, I will more than happily re-record that with the lineup that you've suggested, if I think it works. I have tried this with several different combinations, and I'm pretty sure I can make it work no matter what we do, but let's kind of just go over the pros and cons of everybody we have here. So, Dedue with his low resistance is not going to be very useful against Dorothea or Hubert or all the other magic units. This is an open field engagement, so we can't really plonk him in a choke point, so we're not exactly sure how this is going to pan out here. Ash is more than likely our archer by default, though we can obviously have Byleth fill that role. Mercedes has, if I remember correctly, some white magic, so she is basically our healer, so is a very good choice to deploy her. Felix and his ability Lone Wolf, which I remind you, he will do 5 extra damage when no battalion is assigned or when battalion adjourns to 0. We don't have battalions, so Felix is going to do an automatic extra 5 damage no matter what is going on. So he's probably a good person to take here. Alright, Sylvan is essentially kind of Dimitri light at this point in time. He doesn't really come into his own until a little bit later. If we do deploy Mercedes, Annette, and or Ingrid, he might be useful because with his ability, he will gain you'll do 2 extra damage and take 2 less, so we could be sort of a defender based off of that. But considering all the ranged options, anybody else we put in there is going to be in a little bit of danger. Now, Annette has black magic, which is going to be pretty useful against some of the other units. I believe the rest of the field actually has relatively basic res, and she's not going to be too useful against the mages, but I generally like picking her up. And then Ingrid, again, is also kind of Dimitri light at this point, just basically a Lancer. So going back to the units, the combination I like to take personally is Felix, Mercedes, and Annette. But again, if you have any other ideas, let me know in the comments section. If there's a particularly good lineup that gets a lot of support, I will go ahead and run that. That being said, I'm going to go ahead and bring it in for the time being. So, give me your ideas in the comment section. I would love to hear what you think. Thanks for watching and sticking with me through this. I know we're kind of cutting off at just before the really good stuff, but hey, I just want to give you guys something good to look forward to for next time. Next time, we will run this battle. Let me know in the comment section. Leave a like on this video if you definitely liked what you see. Leave a like on this video if you will have a particular lineup you want me to run. Leave a like if you're just looking forward to seeing this battle and getting past all the talking stuff. I know it's not for everybody. I personally like it, but I want to try and make things good for you guys. Anyhow, that's enough talking for me. That is all for now. Until next time, take care, y'all.